Hey everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is for One Piece, Chapter 808, Duke Inuarashi. So before we get started on there, I do point out, I expect the official English title when we get to is going to be something like Duke Dogupine, because that's how they translated it. Our cover page this week is Syrup Village, Usopp's hometown, and the three former members of the Usopp Pirates are just in tears of joy mode because of Usopp's finally getting a proper poster. And I just realized the poster actually says God Usopp.
Yeah. I thought that's what the.
They don't usually include nicknames on there though.
Oh, I thought they did it. Like they had Sanji the Blackleg. They had Pirate River.
The Oda boxes will have them, but the actual poster will just say Sanji.
Oh, okay. I was.
Or Roano Zoro, or Monkey D. Luffy. They'll have their proper names, which makes me wonder if they think that God is this guy's actual name.
or maybe just him being God gets godly treatment. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember to take a note of that for later. But for now, going into the actual chapter proper, gotta get a couple clicks. We're flashing back to when Jack attacked the Mokomo Dukedom. And what's basically going on here is like they're actually up against a mammoth. They're ready to, like, he's a big honker of a mammoth too, if you look at him. And he's demanding the Wano Country warrior Raizo, but nobody knows who that is.
Yeah.
And Jack is not looking like particularly caring about that. But meanwhile, Sheepshead, who we saw a few chapters back, is just more concerned about the fact that this is the actual country of the minks. Like, you sort of like to run your mouth for a bunch of animals. And he introduces Jack basically as one of the three calamities serving under Kaido. You know, what is this thing with manga where it's like numbers something, like the 4 emperors, just in One Piece alone we have the 4 emperors, the 3 commandos, or 3 calamities, the 7 warlords of the sea, the 3 admirals. And
that's a shonen thing though. That's very shonen.
I don't even think it's purely shonen, but yeah, I think it's primarily them. But still, anyway, yeah, he's like he's
Ten Espada, the Ten Akatsuki, you could kind of.
Well, yep. The 7 swordsmen of the mist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's there.
Yep. Actually, that's the thing though. It's so off frequent now. But in any case.
So who are the other two though? Who do you think are the other two? We have not introduced them yet. What are the calamities like?
Well, we don't know. Yeah. This is only the first one we've met.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming they're like just below the uncle, because this guy's like the right hand man of.
Yeah, like I said, he's introduced as the right hand man of the Emperor Kaido. Like 3 calamities, Jack the Drought. All the land he passed through decades as if it's been through a drought, is how Sheepshead explains it. Now they demand that they hand over Raizo so they can go back to their peaceful little lifestyle, and the minks try to be reasonable. They try to point out the simple fact that they're not lying, they have no desire, they have no motive to lie, and they don't. And Jack just whacks an old monkey man with his trunk. Like they're not about to. They're not here to talk. Like, did we come here to simply converse and chat, Jin Rummy? And Jin Rummy, the woman from before, is like, no, we came here to capture a single samurai. Then Sheepshead gets on her case, like, it's ninja, not samurai. Same thing. Yeah. So he has one demand: bring them Raizo. Problem is, they don't even know what Raizo is. So.
Yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, like Jack doesn't care. He's just going to send his people after him. He calls them his pleasures, and they go out for them. Of course, the minks fight back, and as we find out, every single mink out there that's there, every single mink period, is a warrior, is a fighter. Even their babies. There's a little toddler mink right there.
Go baby minks!
Yay. Yep. Yeah, every one of them is a born warrior, and they've got even stronger warriors who actually undergone training. Such as their musketeers.
Yeah. So we basically go back to the present, because that's basically this flashback.
Yeah. Well, no, wait, there's one more thing before we do that. The gifters.
Oh yeah, the gifters.
There's the way they look and going by the mink's reactions to their bodies. I think we can presume that these are the guys that ate the smile fruits, the artificial zone fruits.
Yeah.
Because we got a guy with crab claws. We got a guy with mouse ears or elephant ears. We got kind of a guy that kind of looks like Moria there in the center.
Yeah, but it's not Moria.
Wait, it tends to look like.
Yeah.
I said, and as Wanda relays the story, like they would not reason with them. The class began, and before they knew it, their peaceful city was turned into a battlefield. And like I said, they don't know why they came, how they were able to come to Zoe, or why they thought that person would even be there. And Luffy's more interested in the mammoths. Brook talks to him like, now do you understand why the samurai in Wano country are taboo? Like, don't mention them here. Of course, Luffy immediately was like, that probably means the ninja Kinemon was talking about isn't even here. What a bummer. Which pretty much gets Nami, Usopp, and Brook just beating the crap out of him. You know, one thing I'm wondering out here is like, is this the first time we've actually seen Brook be on the offensive or something like that? To be the one beating him down? Have we ever seen Brook do that? Because he's usually doing the stupid crap that gets them beaten.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is the first time.
Yeah, Brook manages to cover it up by just wondering how the injured are doing. So they're going to bring them to the Duke's. I don't know why she says sanatorium, but whatever. I guess it's I don't know, because that's an odd word to use right here. Maybe it's the correct one though. But so at this point, we meet Sir Sicilian, or perhaps Sir Sicilian, might be the pun here, because we see a big old lion musketeer, and he's basically punishing his guys for talking about sweet stuff which he hates. Like, he's just... Also, very quick, I said our first three... We have three Inurasi, or three Dogupine musketeers. We have the lion. How much do you want to bet the other two are... I almost hope the other two are going to be a tiger and a bear.
Is that a reference to something that I'm just not forgetting?
Oh, my. Wizard of Oz?
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, so... You see, Wanda introduces the Straw Hats to them. He jumps in the air and comes down on his hands and knees, thanking them for saving the country. Luffy just makes a rude comment, getting him punched by Nami.
I feel like we have a Wizard of Oz reference. Don't we need a Tin Man though? Because he's not an animal, so it wouldn't.
Well, no. In this case, it's just more like there's a saying from the movie "Lions, Tigers, and Bears." Oh my.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's like a song, I think. Even I forget. I haven't. Really, been a long time since I saw anything of that movie. Anyway.
Okay.
They walk in and we see McGruff the crime dog. Well, no, actually, just Duke Dogupine, Duke Inuarashi. Wanda glomps him, and she is tiny next to him. I mean, seriously, like, if you were standing up, she wouldn't come up to top his legs. There's barely come up to his knees, probably.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that. I didn't think he was that big, but I didn't notice Wanda there on the bottom.
Perspective.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, makes me wonder how big that newspaper is. Like I said, Luffy's. Like I said, they're both sides are kind of thanking each other because, like I said, the minks took care of because Luffy's friends helped them, but he still hasn't heard the whole story. Of course, it turns out that McGruff's gratitude is for all of the Straw Hats, not just Luffy. Like, man, you must be pretty strong. Sure, hold your tongue. The Duke is this country's strongest warrior. That's not something you can say about the defeated. The dog kind of takes it in stride. But Wanda's upset because it turns out that apparently the minks actually had the upper hand in combat. The thing, as Chopper reveals, that actually turned the course of the battle was a poison gas weapon by Caesar.
May explain why he's not there, because Caesar's not there.
Right, and like I said, my main question on here is Caesar... Are we talking about a weapon that Caesar made while he was still on Punk Hazard? I'm presuming so, because that's probably why they are feeling gratitude for Straw Hats, because they took Caesar down. And Doflamingo from there, too. But it also explains why we haven't seen Caesar or Sanji.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to know. Like, okay, so did Sanji get Caesar out of there? Or what's going on? You know,
Right.
I'm lost. I'm just like, what's going on? I wonder why they're so hell bent on keeping the Sanji thing away.
I don't know. It seems like they're kind of just putting it off as long as they can on here. But
I don't like it. The problem is the crew already knows, and they even said it's not that bad. But some of the crew says it's great. It's just like, look, we're gonna be disappointed when we find out, because we're like, oh, Sanji did this. Like, okay, well, what's the point of even holding this back for so long? I just don't see it. Yeah,
it's definitely a odd way of doing it. But maybe this could just be a case of groundwork, doing all this so we'll understand what Sanji actually did when we are told what it was. Because you can probably say what Sanji did, but at the same time, it's like maybe it's one of those things that wouldn't make sense if you were just told about it.
Well, again, it's just but the Star Cruise war, so I don't know. But all I'll say is I hope it fulfills their expectations and lives up to the hype. Because
Oda typically delivers, but
I don't see it for this one.
Yeah, I said one thing I did want to bring up here on here, like two things actually. Number one, if you go back to the gifters, you notice how they were all only able to like maybe partly transform, like only like their arms or their face or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this might be part of why Momonosuke is so important. Because if that's the case, he's the only artificial devil fruit eater we know that's able to transform completely.
Supposedly, cause there might be some small part that we don't see that has transformed.
Well, but we've seen him in full dragon.
Yeah, maybe he's like there's like one toe left that we just don't see or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but everything kind of points in that direction. At least assuming everybody else knows about it, that would be the big hole. Like who knows about Momonosuke being a smile eater?
And maybe it could also be to the fact that he's young. So
that's actually a possibility. Like maybe like if you're young, it works better.
Yeah,
which would be a bad thing for like guys who would use the fake devil fruit this way to know about.
Because then they'll just force kids to eat it
and make them their soldiers, right?
Yeah, child soldiers.
Yep. The second thing I wanted to bring to your attention, like the Straw Hats are really super worried about mentioning the Wano country or samurai around the minks, but I wonder if that's a red herring. Because earlier, a few chapters ago, Wanda said that the minks care more about what people have actually done than anything.
Yeah.
And what has Raizo actually done other than plan to show up at Zoe at worst? Even then, like at worst, he just showed up at all.
Not to mention that even if they complain him, the other two definitely were not responsible for anything.
Right, Kinemon and Kanjuro, like I said, their only potential crime would have been just planning to go to Zoe in the first place, and that for them would not have been a problem because they like visitors.
Yeah, so
they're friendly people.
You can't control whether or not people are going to attack because you're just going somewhere. It's not fair. It's not a fair accusation, you know.
Yeah, but I think that like I said, I think it is like Brooke is kind of judging them more from like what humans might do. Like the fact that they didn't actually do anything might be secondary to the fact that they've suffered because those people were coming there, like in a more of an emotional thing.
Yeah. Not to mention that remember they came in expecting certain things that they came expecting that these minks were going to hate humans because whatever. But also, there's a second Duke, right? So is he going to be showing up soon or what?
Yeah, there's a
Duke of the
Duke.
Night.
Yeah, there's a Duke of the Day who we're meeting here, Inu Arashi, or as Viz does it, Dogupine. And then the Duke of the Night, Neko Mamushi, or Cat Viper.
So yeah, probably gonna wait for him or something.
Yeah, like I said, he'll probably be something like midway through a thing to deal with.
I'm so confused. You know what?
You're breaking up. Hang on.
I'm assuming that Wanda's clothes got ripped or something. I don't know.
Can you repeat what you said? You broke up.
Oh, I was curious as to why Nami gave Wanda her clothes, but I'm assuming that Wanda's clothes got ripped during the fight or something.
Yeah, or they could just have been friendly for a bit. So.
Yeah, well, small clothes. I bet that's barely anything.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them like doing like a fashion trade as a thing there. Maybe Nami's wearing Wanda's clothes.
I'm just like but yeah.
Actually, I'm wondering if Wanda is related to the Dogupine on here because glopping him that way just seems to be like a sudden thing for them to do for like the leader of their people.
Yeah, they're definitely both dogs, so maybe that's something.
Yeah, and physical intimacy is more of a thing with the minks, as we knew last chapter. Actually, neat little thing. They apparently it's because there's a pun there in Japanese, like the Viz version translated as physical minktimacy.
But so I also like to point out that she did remember there was a guy getting tortured. That might have been the Duke.
That's possible. I mean, and that is something like. On the One Piece podcast, when they reviewed that chapter, they mentioned that the guy that was being tortured was speaking like an elder.
Yeah, so probably Duke.
Like the speech patterns were those of an older person. So that could have been. I said, Jack is going to be an interesting thing to see when we actually start fighting him, just because, like, the guy is loco.
Yeah, but as we all know, we got to be. So it's interesting that they just got away from Big Mom, and now they're meeting someone from Kaido. It's like, holy shit, it's everyone but Shanks.
Well,
like,
they've effectively already declared war on Kaido just by beating Doflamingo.
Yeah.
I mean, going after him in the first place was effectively an attack on Kaido.
Yeah, well, I mean, Luffy was going to declare war on everyone, no matter what. Like,
yeah, I mean that's like I said. I remember like when they flash back to being told which one they're going after. That was Law was surprised about that. Like, well, I'm gonna have to take them all down anyway, so we may as well start there.
Yeah, but it's also interesting that all the emperors are like spreading out their armada except for Shanks. Like Shanks is just like there's no soldiers from him. He seems very like close knit with his people, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's got like the big gang or big army like Kaido and Big Mom have, or even Blackbeard from what we've seen of him.
Yeah, like Whitebeard and Blackbeard both had huge armies. I mean, Blackbeard basically just stole Whitebeard's army, but and then Kaido has a huge army. Big Mom has a huge army. Shanks is just like I can only recall a ship. That's like it. I'm sure he has more, but like because I think there was a lot more arriving at the Marineford. But I'm just like, yeah, Shanks seems to be the most like complacent of the.
The second thing I wanted to bring up is I think we're starting to see like the naming conventions for Kaido and for Kaido's troops. Because remember I thought before that they might be like a alcohol themed thing because we had like Jack and Scott and all that. At this point though, it's looking like we might be seeing a card thing going here. Because first of all we have Jack, but also among the two people we're seeing here we have Jin Rummy, and we're also having Sheep's Head, which actually is a cards game. Yeah, so we might be seeing like a card theme among at least among this group, if not Kaido's whole crew. But that would fit in a way, because if you think about like what was Doflamingo's code name, Joker.
Oh yeah, you're right. Holy shit.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that. That was more just like because I follow the Arlong Park threads, but still, that's definitely something to kind of an interesting kind of idea to kind of catch on to. All right, so
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny that I was wondering what kind of red hair Shanks' ambitions were, because he doesn't seem to be spreading out like everyone else. So what is he after? You know.
Mm-hmm. Like, does he have a particular goal? Like, is he going for Raftel himself to see if he can do it like his captain did? Does he have something else in mind?
Or he's just screwing around and he's beaten so many guys. They just gave him the title Emperor. And he's like, whatever. I'm just gonna go do my own thing. Like
Saitama, but with respect.
Yeah. So it's like. Remember he went to Luffy's place, he just drank, and even when people like attacked him, he didn't really give a shit. So he's not like Kaido Big Mom, who's like ready to attack anyone who's like threatening their
who slights them.
Disrespecting them. He's just like whatever.
Yeah, they don't. He doesn't care about being slighted. Of course, when he attacks someone he cares about, that changes things entirely.
Yeah, well, that's only when people are in danger though. So he's kind of like a hero in some ways too.
Yep. Yeah. So at this point, we're still kind of in the getting information phase, though. So we definitely got quite a bit this time, though. So we saw Jack, and we kind of got hints of it before, but that man is unstable. And we also found out that Caesar that this is connected, at least indirectly, to previous threads or previous arcs. Because we have Caesar and his poison gas weapons, and things like that are causing problems for the people in this country. I wonder if that's part of why Chopper was able to help so many people because he was they had Caesar with him. Maybe he was able to help him make an antidote or something.
Possibly, because we don't see any frozen people, right? Because that's like the last time.
Well, I don't know if that necessarily means that particular weapon, but at least a poison gas weapon.
Okay, yeah. No, I remember that was the big thing. They had
yeah, but he was holding that up for auction. Like he was advertising that one. Like that was a demonstration. The whole thing of Punk Hazard.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think we got everything covered that we wanted to cover on here. Let's see. Yep, so that has been our review of One Piece, Chapter 808, Dogupine. Go ahead and take us away.